so our tip of the week today is managing wall information. If you're managing wall information, you're going to want to work with the property manager and the classification manager to open that up. The classification manager, you're going to go to classification manager, open that classification manager up. You can see where there's various classifications we have here for various elements in Archicad. And of course, if you select any one of those, you can edit that element in terms of its ID, its name, and description within that. If you're working with properties, then you open the properties manager up, and then you'll have your property groups, such as general ratings, doors and windows, finishes, product information. And then you have properties within those groups, such as finishes. You have floor finish, wall finish, base, wainscot finish, and cabinet, millwork, and counter finishes. And so these are the options that you can create. You can create strings and numbers. You can create different options and true false statements and other types of values as well. And that's by using the value definition here. The option setup is one of my favorites because you can basically create preset options to choose from. So if you were setting us up for fire resistance rating, for example, you might have it for a 45-minute rating, a 60-minute rating, a 90-minute rating, a 120-minute rating, etc. And you can select from those, and then that gets assigned to that element that you've then assigned this to. And the other important part of the classifications is that when you assign the classification to a property, then it will only show up for that classification. So, for example, if you assigned it a wall classification, it will only show up for walls. If you assigned a door and window classification, it will only show up for doors and windows. Once you create those properties and those classifications, if I open the wall up, only my wall properties will show up within here. And so if I get on general settings, I'm going to see that I've got my fire resistant rating here of those different options we were just talking about. I've got combustible, U value, etc., and other options that I can choose from. Now, for graphic overrides, we can combine the graphic overrides with some of these other settings we've been talking about, from including properties. So, for example, with the fire protection, we can assign our walls different properties, such as at 30 minutes, at 60 minutes, at 90 minutes. And then we can assign a graphic override so that it shows both in 2D and in 3D the walls that are assigned those designations. So as you can kind of see here, we got on the outer parts of it, 30-minute. We've got the inner part of it, 90-minute, where it would be where the exit areas are of the building, and 60-minute to other areas as well. So you can see, we can very clearly see that. And the way that that works is that you can go into your designations here, and I can do for structural plans, for example, I could have a structural load bearing with red, a structural non-load bearing here with purple, or I think it's purple, and the structural undefined as gray, this is maybe blue. In any case, you got different colors, right? And so you can see where it's showing it, this information here in the floor plan, as well as in the cutaway section. And the way that it's doing that is able to then track using these different settings that we've assigned, classifications for properties that we've assigned within our classifications of the wall settings. And so here, if we go into phases, we can assign different phases. You can see different phase colors here as well. And those phase colors come from different designations we're setting for phase 1, 2, and 3. And that shows the information here in 3D, as well as, of course, it would in 2D. And that is our tip of the week today. Let's get into Archicad.